do better next time.
Alright, so it seems that we are back. Welcome.
We're back on. Hello.
We're here for some Meteor Herd. Nothing happened in between Pyramid Cave and Meteor Herd. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, there was no bosses, there was no more stages, nothing like that.
Alright, you got a piece. Let's go. He does go there to check for a free piece, but it seems that there is none.
Did not get the free piece.
And Viblosh is streaming back. He's just finishing up Eternal Engine. So he's still a little bit behind Nineball here.
And Nineball having to go back down to the bottom. Which isn't terrible, it's better than going further up.
So you got a bottom, middle, bottom layout right there, which isn't the worst. You can get bottom, top, bottom. Or middle, bottom, top. Those are both, you know, worse.
About a minute into the stage, which is where Viblosh is now starting up, so roughly a minute ahead of Viblosh, a little more. But that also depends on how fast Viblosh can get through the stage. So this boss fight's pretty simple. It's a matter of hitting a drill dive early on and blocking Rouge into drill dives until it's over. It lasts about 15 seconds. If it lasts too long and hits about the 20-second mark, it can drag out very horribly because the bottom floor opens up and causes a lot of problems for movement and tracking down Rouge. But this doesn't seem like it's going to be an issue.
It might just be faster to restart.
Oh, very. All right, so
the floor does open up, and it makes Rouge almost impossible to find and hit.
But thankfully, it didn't slow down Nineball by too much.
Here we got Crazy Gadget. It's a very difficult stage to do well.
And we're going to be seeing a skip here, hopefully. Or a skip, depends on which skip we see.
If you look at it, it's not going to look like much is going on. He's kind of going to jump out of bounds and hit the goal ring, but there's a lot that goes into it.
You might not even realize it, but he's already doing the stage in an unintended way with the gravity.
You gotta want to make sure that you grab that checkpoint, because a lot of the times, if you hit it, it doesn't like to really register that it's been hit.
So we're gonna see
is going for Crazy Gadget skip and not Crazy Gadget skip, which is a little bit slower.
A little slower, but it's also
ooh, that's really bad. He's
really
gonna have to take a death here, because you can't get out of there, and he has no coins, so he has no option but to take a death.
Which is a good thing he hit that checkpoint, because that saves him the time of getting back up here. That's not something you see happen too often. It's just, when it happens, it sucks. All right.
That's kind of
this time it's not going to happen. All right, so much better off this time. So all he really needs to do is hit this bubble artificial chaos up here and get through the door, and then just a couple of bounces away from the goal ring, even though it doesn't look like it. Oh, and even managed to land on the door to get a spin dash.
Which does save some time.
And here's the bounce.
Bounce through the wall.
Homing attack, adjust position, and should land right into the goal ring. And that's the whole stage.
See Viblosh
go for skip.
Where he just kind of jumps out the wall. And he skips all of that crazy gravity stuff with the chaoses and everything. It's a lot less hassle, but it is very difficult to do.
And he missed the goal ring, which is
overshoots it, which means he had too much distance.
Yeah, it's harder to gauge where you have to be during this skip. When you're doing the skip, Viblosh is going to go for it again, while Nineball is taking on Eggman, This particular boss can be very hassling, but hitting Eggman with that bomb was very fortunate.
Ooh.
And that's it.
Oh no.
Oh, can Viblosh
No!
save it? He does not save it. Viblosh did not save it. It is possible to save. Oh, got a game over as well. Loses the checkpoints.
So this might be a W for Nineball here, as it'll be very hard to come back from this because these last stages are, you know, pretty solid.
And Nineball's going into FR, which FR is the first 2 letters of free, because that's what the stage is.
It's not too hard to not die here. It's a pretty simple stage.
So this game's programmed very well. So when gravity, we make gravity do what we want it to do, as opposed to expecting gravity to work in conventional means. And
he turned too early.
He didn't hit the checkpoint either.
I mean, that checkpoint's kind of a pain anyway.
But effectively all he's doing is using skewed gravity to skip the entirety of the stage. But in order to do it, he has to turn at specific moments to get around a kill plane. But if done right, if he gets around the kill plane, you'll see him eventually come up on 3 pillars, which is actually the very end of the stage. And he'll just land on the goal ring.
Viblosh will maybe hit CGSS this time? Yes. So that was a rough, crazy gadget on Viblosh. Nineball has more than enough height here to hit the goal ring.
Alright, so Nineball's about to be going into the final boss of the story, which is Shadow, and with just a few well-timed homing attack jumps, this boss fight is mostly free. Granted, I did say FR was free, and that had a death in it. Commentator's Curse. Meanwhile, Viblosh finishing off Eggman in sub 15 seconds.
It's a pretty good time right there. What's frame perfect task? Like 13.99?
So we're going to see timed homing attack jumps right here, hopefully locking Shadow in place. And that was the whole thing. And if you weren't hutting with that, then it's okay. Nobody's perfect, but you should hut with that, because
You'll get another chance. Don't worry.
That's pro strats. Is huts. So we're seeing FR skip by Viblosh now.
Ooh, cool background. Another 2 minutes of falling into nothing on Viblosh. So this is a fun stage to watch.
So Nineball getting the W on the first race. Setting up for the second.
Story select.
And Viblosh looks like he will have no problem hitting the goal ring here.
Yeah, there's plenty of distance on that jump, or on that fall. We'll probably end up landing directly on the goal ring, or overshooting it entirely, depending on what he wants to do. Yeah. So going into Shadow, and that'll wrap up Hero Story for him on this first run, and then we'll be going into round 2.
Viblosh finishing it up with a 41-13, while Nineball gets a 39-01.
Alright, and we're about to start round 2.
I could see this race easily going to the best of 3. These runners are both very good and capable of beating each other.
Yeah, and that time was not a very big difference, so any successful strat that the other person doesn't land, or any mistake that isn't repeated by the opponent, could easily determine who wins.
So we're going to be starting up here really quickly. And we are off. Back into City Escape. You're not going to see much happen until around the 40-second mark, where City Escape skip will be a big indicator of who will be in the lead for the next couple of stages.
You say a couple of stages, but again, it's worth noting that Wild Canyon's right after that are can quickly play a part in determining the lead.
Viblosh missing the last jump this time.
Alright, so Nineball coming up on CE skip.
He doesn't even go for it.
Just passes it entirely.
And Viblosh
not getting it. So we're going to see another full CE.
Another full CE. I'm pumped. I don't know about you guys, but I love City Escape.
CE skipless is a fun stage to watch.
Oh man. This rail section really caught them both up very close back again.
And they're both going into the truck section neck and neck. But Nineball pulling ahead a little bit.
He gets the strat where you don't fly off that first hill, which is a little bit strange to get. But it saves time.
And Viblosh having a lot of trouble here not hitting the ramp and slowing down really bad. Viblosh is going to lose a lot of time to that truck section.
So you saw they entered truck section neck and neck, and they ended about 4 seconds apart. Truck section is very easy to lose a lot of time on.
This game of tag is boring. I'm out of here. Finally decided to show up, eh? Okay, bring it on!
Spider Trip Bigfoot reporting to headquarters. Intruder has been located.
Copy that.
Ooh. Nineball having a bit of trouble on Bigfoot here, and he does opt for the restart, which can cause an issue because Omochao will come and tell you how to kill the boss, but he also sometimes will break that box, and then you can't use it to kill Bigfoot. He seems to be playing along this. No, he doesn't.
Oh no, Omochao just botched it for Nineball. That's real tough.
So when you restart there, Omochao does like to be a bit mean, and something like this can happen.
This is going to give Viblosh a nice head start. Oh, which is very nice because Viblosh got suspended ceiling first piece. Not a very favorable piece to get.
So after Nineball having a little bit of trouble on Bigfoot there, he does finish it up.
Hey guys, take care.
And Viblosh already 2 pieces in and going straight for Scary Eyes. So Viblosh is going to be out of the stage very, very soon.
Nineball does check for a free piece, perhaps. Or he just forgot where the piece was. A bird box.
Bird box is very unfortunate second piece. And it's one, yeah. So Viblosh moving on to Press X Simulator Boss while Nineball is trying to get this third piece over here.
I found him. Yeah, I feel good.
Ooh, Viblosh going for a rail hop there, not hitting it just right. So, just a minor time loss. So one thing we didn't really talk about last time, that first gate hop on Prison Lane is a little dangerous for the fact that there is a beetle that flies overhead trying to shoot you. If that beetle hits you, you have to take the slow way up. And it's a really mean beetle. Which is hilarious because it is one of the only beetles in the stage that actually tries to shoot you. And Viblosh about to wrap up Prison Lane. About 40 seconds ahead. Another thing not really discussed in the last run is collision in this game is very funny in that they only really program collision in areas where they expect you to collide with some terrain. So you'll see that they jump through the bottom of platforms and jump through the backs of loops because there's no collision on that side of the object, which is very advantageous for speedrunning because it means you can take a faster, you can bypass automated segments and whatnot by just clipping through the outside of the terrain. Another strat that was just used by Viblosh that we didn't discuss is storage, where the very oversimplification of it is you're tricking the game into thinking you're both simultaneously spin dashing and rolling, which is a very gross, under descriptive way of saying it, but it basically gives you the hitbox of a roll while it's prepping to charge a spin dash, which lets you pass through segments where the game forces you to roll under terrain. And it also is used against Shadow in their first boss fight. So we're coming back up on the Faker cutscene, the best cutscene of all video games, and that is an indisputable fact.
Barely made it.
So you're seeing Sonic appear to walk into Shadow. That is utilizing the storage strat that I mentioned earlier. And it is a very efficient way of fighting Shadow because Shadow doesn't think to defend against it because the game is confused on what state you're actually in. So it really is as simple, or at least from a visual perspective, it is as simple as walking into Shadow and watching him take damage.
You're comparing yourself to me? Huh. You're not even good enough to be
I'll
my
make you eat those words.
There's no time to play games. You won't even get the chance. I'm the coolest. Oh, I see. Darn. Bad for an imposter.
Both of them wrapping up Shadow very quickly. Going into Green Forest.
Shadow, what are you doing? Hurry and get back here right now before the island blows up with you on it!
Blows up? We gotta get out of here. Find Amy and Tails. Right away.
So Viblosh going for the Green Forest wall run again. And barely making it. Wow, that was so close. Getting the ledge grab. And that right there going through the back of the loop was an example of the collision weirdness that is this game. Because this game's programmed very well. This game is flawless. And we're going to see Nineball coming up on the... just doing a basic loop skip, which is fine. Nineball's going to be going for the bungee skip, which is where you skip like a miniature cutscene within the stage where Sonic's taking a bungee down. Alright, Viblosh getting a really nice first piece over here on Church, as well as successfully getting the text prompt skipped. And it looks like also a pretty decent second piece, given that first piece. So, Viblosh is going to have really decent RNG here, getting out of the stage in 32 seconds. And let's see what kind of RNG Nineball gets on Pumpkin Hill.
There's no time to lose. I have to hurry and find the Master Emerald.
Oh, Nineball getting a nice first piece. This, I believe, is the only first piece you can have a red radar on starting out. So it's really nice when you get that. Pumpkin Snowman also not a bad piece. It's a little bit of ways, but it's very easy to get to. But King of the Hill third piece is not good at all. That is a really ugly piece to get, because if you're low in the stage, you have to get up higher, which means taking the... Then you have to glide to this one, like, far corner of the map, and it's buried underneath the enemy. It's not a nice piece to get. All things considered, the execution was pretty good, and getting out at 37 seconds is not bad at all. But you don't want to see that as your third piece most of the time. Viblosh did manage to get the weight hop at the beginning of the stage, so Zero Cycle is potentially real. And this stage is a very good testament to why Tails is such a good guy, because the amount of civilian property damage and possible fatality, unknown, but, you know, Tails is a good guy, so it's all okay. It's because the government's hunting him, it makes him a good guy. Viblosh execution so far, really good. Getting all the jumps that he needed. So
Easy Zero Cycle.
good Zero Cycle. That's nice. That's gonna keep Viblosh firmly in the lead.
Huh.
Saw Nineball get caught right there on the perfectly programmed terrain in this game. Viblosh getting a little caught up, losing just a little bit of speed and momentum here in this hallway, but overall, Mission Street. Wrapping up at 2:08. So Nineball's going for the half cycle, did not get the 0 cycle. As Viblosh pulls up, trying to get the, hopefully getting free pieces.
He is going to opt for a restart twice, 3 times.
3 times?
And 4 times.
4 times? Alright.
This is one reason why some runners don't like to do that, because he could have probably gotten a pretty good piece from there, but he wasted a lot of RTA restarting 4 times.
And lives that could be, used later to cover for mistakes in one of the desert levels, death chamber strats.
I gotta do better next time.
This piece is kind of annoying because
that bouncer spring likes to interrupt you getting it.
Oh yeah. I'm not seeing any free pieces on Nineball's screen either. It's really rough. Neither runner got any free pieces on this cutscene in the first 2 races combined. Nineball did not grab a hint, so he could have gotten a very terrible piece, such as down below, which is ridiculously slow and way faster to restart on. So if you don't get a blinking radar, you typically want to grab a hint at the beginning.
And having to go out of his way to Ghost Room to start the map off.
He does
But finding that free piece
here
along the way, that is really nice. That's going to help. Finishing up with 32 seconds.
That was about 13 seconds faster than Viblosh's, so he's making up a bit of time here.
And once again, we're back to the stage where it's really just watching them drift around corners, minimizing collisions, collecting as many rings as they can to get the boosts, and hopefully not shooting over the rails on the ramps.
The president must be over there. Let's go. I'm getting closer.
Tails, did you find the president?
Almost, Sonic. Just a few more minutes.
So now Viblosh will be moving back onto the desert section, where hopefully we'll get to see a very cool trick at the beginning of Hidden Base.
And we'll be able to see stages such as Death Chamber and bosses like Egg Golem.
What? Those don't
King
exist.
Boo. some of the most hated bosses in the game because of how easy it is to lose time to them. Alright, pretty solid movement so far from Viblosh. Alright, so Viblosh probably going to go for this again. Does.
He gets the first jump. He gets the second
Gets
jump.
the second jump.
And he will probably be home free. So that is the fastest strategy at the beginning. It's also very difficult. And it looks
risky.
pretty cool.
Because it's also a cycle-based strategy. It depends heavily on your movement in the beginning of the stage to catch the right cycle, because if that platform is rising when you get to it, it can actually force you down into the quicksand.
Nineball also gets it. That's pretty dope.
It is. It's really awesome to see them go for the strat too, despite both of them went for it the first time and missed it, so we got to see 3 different means of getting through this stage in this race. You can see Viblosh was jumping over some of those breakable doors. Obviously, the developers don't intend you to do that, but for some reason they programmed enough collision on the top to allow you to do it.
Viblosh has a bit of a spaghetti right there. He misses the second pulley and kind of falls into the quicksand. Doesn't lose that much time because he's right next to a checkpoint.
Nineball missing the hover jump and hitting the checkpoint. As we see Viblosh moving towards the end of the stage, getting the first set of bombs destroyed, so that'll get up here just a little bit. Well, would be if the execution was a little bit better, but all good. Viblosh still pulling ahead. Nineball also hitting all 3 of the first set of bombs, and is going to get up here faster. Nineball actually closing the gap just a little bit.
Because Nineball didn't take a death and he finished a little bit faster than Viblosh, he's definitely making that gap a lot smaller.
Yeah, he closed that gap significantly. They're both going to be coming into Pyramid Cave around the same time.
Viblosh could easily fall behind in the stage.
It's worth noting that Nineball didn't even attempt Snake Skip last time, and Viblosh did go for it.
Probably.
So if Viblosh can pull Snake Skip, there's a good chance that that'll help add to his lead.
To be fair, it only saves around 3 seconds, so even without Snake Skip, Nineball could easily pull ahead here.
Well, it saves 3 seconds versus optimized movement not using it. Anything can happen that could slow Nineball down. Oh, see, yeah, even missing that door. Ooh. Oh, another time. This is actually gonna hurt Viblosh, because that's just helping Nineball close the gap. 2 failed attempts on the door. 2 failed attempts on the door, but it also depends on Nineball getting a first attempt for that gap to be closed, which he does. Alright, here we go. Viblosh gonna go for Snake Skip. And it's pretty clean. Oh no, Nineball falling down into the pit, gonna have to use a super bounce to get out and taking a hit, so that's gonna cost a little bit of time, which is every second Viblosh can pull ahead, the better for him. And we're about to be... Oh, that is so unfortunate, Nineball taking a death. That's gonna send him back to a checkpoint.
That is definitely one of the top 5 most time losses you can have in Hero Story, because the checkpoint is so far away from the ending like that, you lose a ton of time.
Alright, so first piece, Middle of Red Eyes. And this is Death Chamber, for those of you who don't know.
So since you got a blue
making
piece,
its debut in this stream.
He will probably attempt to kill himself after he gets this piece in hopes of getting a piece closer to Red Room.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he'll have very few chances to kill himself if he needs to keep repeating it because of the deaths he took earlier in the run to Aquatic Mine.
And he gets
But
it first
that's
try.
fine. He got a nice piece here. Oh, misses the glide.
A bunch of unnecessary movement. He could have just kind of jumped backwards.
Is careful not to destroy the box in case he needs to use it for a clip.
That is a very rare piece. You don't see that very often. And that was ridiculously good.
I don't
RNG.
think I've ever seen that piece.
It's on the Chow Viblosh, yeah. Nineball gets probably the worst piece in Death Chamber, and he doesn't restart.
And doesn't
for
go
it.
to restart. That's
This piece is miles away, all the way in Green Room, where nothing good ever happens. It's the worst piece ever. You don't want to see it. It's terrible and it's bad.
It's also going to eliminate the viability of death strats. But he's going to go for it anyway. It's not that it eliminates their usability altogether, it's just they're significantly less viable. But at the very... Oh, he's going to keep going for him, though. Checking the hit monitor before dying to make sure... Yeah.
I might have just gone for the blue, beautiful...
It would have been better off to just restart on that first piece. Angry Man's... He's still not...
I don't really know what he's looking for here, because the odds of getting a Red Room piece after that first piece are very low. And with all of these deaths in an RTA race, it's probably not faster.
Alright, going for booty clip, not hitting the first attempt.
Hey, Viblosh is on King Boom Boo. Guys, look at that.
Hey, look, it's King Boom Boo.
You
And
killed
it
him.
looks like it gets a single cycle King Boom Boo too, which is good, because if you do not get first cycle, it is an incredible time loss.
If you miss first cycle, it's probably faster to just restart, because the next couple of cycles are very slow.
It's faster to restart if you can hit the first cycle on the next attempt. So you're seeing super bouncing on Egg Golem. This is the fastest way to beat him, but it's also very easy to mess up, and if you mess it up, you can potentially lose time.
You got something like 3 frames to get all these super bounce inputs in because of how narrow a space you have to actually do
And
the
he has
bounces.
Ballerina, so he's going to have to wait for the Ballerina animation to finish before the fight can officially end.
Don't kill yourself, that's bad. There's a strategy where you can kill yourself after beating this boss, and that saves a bit of in-game time, but if you get a Ballerina like that and you kill yourself too early, the boss will restart.
It's also worth noting that Egg Golem is the only boss in the game that you can actually start the fight while it's still introducing him, which gives you more time to attack him.
Yeah, if you press a button during the intro cutscene, it starts 5 seconds sooner. So it's a free 5 seconds by pressing the button A.
What the? A ghost?
Eternal Legend, we didn't get to see much of this last race. We saw the last, 5 seconds of it on Viblosh's screen. That's alright, because there's not much to watch in this stage.
Yeah, this stage, about halfway into it, you're going to see them use very weird collision programming with a barrel, because this game's programmed perfectly. There's nothing wrong with this game, I promise you. And they're just going to go out of bounds and say, yeah, we don't want to do the rest of the stage. We're just going to go to the goal ring.
What a hassle.
Nineball also getting a first cycle King Boom Boo. And Viblosh looks like he's going to be getting a 1 cycle Eternal Engine as well. It might be a little bit close now because he didn't get the quick Chaos kill.
Ooh.
So it'll be pretty tight here. And he just walks into that wall here, doesn't even bother jumping. So he's not going to get first cycle there.
Nineball using a vanilla strat. Oh no!
Nice.
Nineball's not having a lot of luck with these super bounces. And again, this isn't really a lack of skill so much as it is just genuinely difficult to do that because of the very small window of time you have. but Nineball landing on the ballerina hand, making it look easy.
Yeah, that was a bit of a weird hit there. So King Boom Boo is less skill and more how good are you at pressing buttons quickly.
And unfortunately, that headbutt caused Nineball to miss the attack.
Oh my, he's
Nineball's
not having a good egg
a
golem.
really bad time on Egg Golem. Over a minute on Egg Golem alone.
Viblosh over here, kind of finishing up Eternal Engine. He's got a decent lead now.
What's Eternal Engine? I don't know what that stage is.
I mean,
Is it that place where you're just in space half the time?
Yeah, you're just kind of flying through the stage, holding down right simulator.
Okay. I know that stage.
We're gonna see it again on Nineball's screen. I'm so excited.
Alright, moving into Meteor Herd. The last Knuckles stage. Between floating containers. It's a nice middle first piece, right next to where the rocket drops you off. Dangerous liquid, so it's going to go up top.
This is looking to be pretty average RNG right here. Nothing too bad.
Center of a square shadow. RNG can only be so nice.
Nineball gets
Nineball.
a clip out right there.
While Viblosh moves on to beat the bat.
Beat the bat.
It's going to be the best 15 seconds of Knuckles' life.
Yikes. Nineball finishing up Eternal Engine with a sub 2. That's a pretty good time right there. He does save a bit of time over Viblosh, but he is still quite a long time behind. But
Yeah,
with
he still
Viblosh's
has
history on Crazy Gadget, we might see an upset.
Viblosh went for CGSS last time. Took it second attempt though, right?
Oh no, it was like 5th, 6th.
Oh.
He missed
Yeah, that
it a
can be
lot.
really rough time losses then. So
He
we're
also
gonna
came
see
over.
hits the checkpoint, make sure it activated. Going for CGSS again.
He has not missed out of bounds yet, and it's not as easy as he's making it look. You can't just spin dash out. You have to avoid like 3 kill planes to actually make it out of there. And he gets it first try this
first
time.
try. That's
So we're probably
gonna,
gonna be seeing a match 3 here.
yeah. It's gonna be very difficult for Viblosh to lose this lead. The only real place that leaves him open to lose this lead is this next boss fight. Otherwise, it takes a series of very bad mistakes to lose this lead.
Oh yeah. After Meteor Herd, honestly, you know, aside from Crazy Gadget skip, there's not much that can really change. Everything's, you know, mostly the same.
It's closer. I found him.
Oh, taking a
Viblosh does take
death.
a death on Eggman too.
Yeah, this is perfect.
Even with 3 more deaths, he'll probably be alright. I think it'll be a challenge to lose this one.
And Viblosh going into FR. So
That's a good one. Your emerald. Talking to you is a waste of time.
If that's how you want to play, I will take it from you. This can't be true. I never lose.
Get away from my emerald.
Nice 15-second checkpoint on Viblosh, going for FR skip. And that looks like it's going to be a pretty solid CE, or I said CE, pretty solid FR skip. Who knows? Good news is, unless something catastrophic happens on Viblosh's side, we have a third chance to see a CE skip. Nineball going for CGS.
Viblosh will have plenty of height here to finish up Final Rush skip, and honestly, Shadow 2 is super easy, so we're gonna be seeing a win here.
Yeah, this is a game 3 scenario.
We'll see if Nineball hits the goal ring here. And he gets it.
Yes! Huh, no problem.
Viblosh having trouble on Shadow. But the second attempt was pretty solid.
37:41. That's a pretty solid time. Now we get to see another minute of nothing. Oh, look at that. Look at that sick turn right there. That's a good turn. He might be a little bit far left here, and it's possible that he will hit the kill plane. But he looks alright.
Yeah, he looks like he's got it. And he's got plenty of height.
.120 is a solid final rush time.
So we are heading into Shadow 2, and then we can start our game 3 with both runners at a win. So next race takes it.
Before this is over, I'll show you the true power of chaos control!
Ooh.
Wow.
What was the the idea there.
Before this is over, I'll show you the true power of chaos.
Shadow special attack. Use the somersault to avoid the chaos spear.
I'm guessing he might have just not realized that the boss fight wasn't over.
The ultimate light.
Game over, Shadow.
All right, we finished up 40-28 for Nineball and 37-41 for Viblosh.
Sonic,
Sonic,
Nineball using speedrun strats to just skip the credits.
And also, when you restart the game like that, you save 1 second on Route 101. So unless Viblosh closes out his game here also, he will be losing 1 second.
File select. File select.
Dark Side Story. So it appears that Viblosh waited for the credits to end, and then restarted his game anyway. Hey, why Shadow looks so disappointed?
Shadow always looks disappointed. It's part of his groove. He has to be edgy.
And while we wait for this next race to start, we can groove out to the best menu music you've ever heard. It is not repetitive, and it's good. It's good music.
It's great music. It's great music. I love this music. It's the best music.
This is honestly the only thing that I listen to on repeat 24 hours a day. Could you imagine that? It'd be the worst.
Story select.
Oh, thank God it changed. My ears were about to die. And we are
Did Viblosh
off.
just go to dark? Oh, I thought Viblosh went to dark story for a second.
Viblosh is so confident he's gonna play through Dark Story first and then go to Hero Story.
Anyway, here we go. Back to CE. Let's see if we get a CE skip
We'll
from
get a
Viblosh. Nineball has not made any attempts to so far.
The first run he did, didn't he?
No, I don't think he did. I think he missed the ramp both times. but his execution so far is pretty solid.
Ooh,
Oh, he
we're
does
gonna
go
see an
for it.
attempt, and
He
does
didn't
not
hit
get
it.
it. Neither does Viblosh. No City Escape skip in this series. Disappointing.
That just kind of shows you how reliable a skip it is. Viblosh getting caught on the bench there. But so far, this is a pretty good execution overall so far. Viblosh
153, that's a pretty good City Escape time from Nineball.
Viblosh getting a little hung up on that downhill, but not by much. So both of them finishing under 2 minutes without CE skip. Pretty solid runs. Going into Wild Canyon, which is or no, I'm sorry, going into Bigfoot first.
Tag is boring. I'm out of here. Finally decided to
Hopefully we don't see any more Omochao shenanigans.
Bigfoot reporting to headquarters. Intruder has been located.
Copy that.
Nineball might be getting a frame perfect time here. It depends on how these next two hits go, but that first hit was pretty solid. And looks like he will not get frame perfect, just barely though.
Hey guy.
That third hit was a little bit off.
They finished almost to the frame.
He doesn't even check for middle bird box. Viblosh picking up Omochao. That's how you do it. And a pretty solid Wild Canyon time from Nineball.
Viblosh gonna lose a little bit of oh wow, that was actually a potential free piece.
Perfect.
And Viblosh falling just a bit farther behind here. A 1274, that is a good Eggman one time. Yeah, it's prison lane. We're shooting some robots.
Walking through hallways.
This is the life.
Best tail stage ever. Jokes aside, we are seeing some pretty solid execution here from both runners.
If something bad happened, we would have commented on it, so our silence means they're doing well. A pretty good prison lane from Nineball with a 135.
A little bit of a hiccup there on Viblosh's side on that last gate hop. Still landed it, but bonking first.
Still losing a bit of time, just a couple seconds behind. But these seconds are starting to add up. A nice underloop there.
What is collision detection?
Oh yeah, so a lot of the floors and walls in this game, they're only one way, which means, you know, the way that you're supposed to be, they're solid, but if you can get around them, they're not solid. So that's a fun little fact. And a good looking pulley skip right there.
Nineball makes the stage look easy.
Nineball is having a nice metal harbor. A little bit of a choke there on the rocket skip, but not a big deal.
Yeah, hitting the bouncer spring to save it.
Yes!
121, pretty solid.
That time was definitely not liquid.
Barely made it.
It was solid.
Kappa.
Viblosh with a less solid 128, but still not a terrible time. He's still falling farther and farther behind Nineball, which is just going to make it harder to catch back up.
Hey, that's...
That blue hedgehog again, of all places.
I found you.
Faker.
Faker? I think you're the fake hedgehog around here. You're comparing yourself to me? Huh. You're not even good enough.
Fun fact, Shadow does not like Sonic comparing himself to him. Don't know if everyone knew that, but it's a little tidbit, a little lore information you guys might.
I'm just so excited we got to watch that cutscene 6 times today. That was probably the lowest Shadow 1 time we've seen in this series.
Shadow, what are you doing? Hurry and get back here right now before the island...
Alright everyone, you know what's about to happen, right? Blows up.
Blows up.
Blows up? Alright, some more green forest. More trying to stay on the ground. Nineball will probably opt to not do wall run once again. And we'll see if Viblosh will get it, because that will save a good amount of time.
Yeah, the wall run actually is one of the best things that Viblosh can have going for him right now if he lands it first try.
I believe Task Run is about 16 seconds faster than not doing any wall run. So if he gets that first try, he'll save a good chunk.
Ooh, Nineball having a little bit of a problem getting through this little segment.
At this point, if Viblosh gets first try Task Run, he might just be ahead. Looking good so far. He did not cancel that homing attack, and if he did, he probably would have had the distance for that.
That is unfortunate. That's going to help secure Nineball's lead for a while.
Yes! Huh. No problem.
So that's just going to be a little bit more time loss onto Viblosh, just making him farther and farther behind Nineball.
This place sure feels haunted. There's no time to lose. I have to hurry and find the Master Emerald.
Twin Huts, that's a very good first piece for Pumpkin Hill.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy first piece to get to, and
It's right in the middle, you know, easy
so
access
you can get
everywhere.
to either of the other. Well,
He's having a bit of trouble there. Actually,
movement is a big deal, but Pumpkin family, not too bad. But that little hiccup in movement could actually be a blessing for Viblosh.
Viblosh needs all the time that he can get right now.
Well, Viblosh also having a pretty solid first piece. So far, it's the same for both of them. Starting under Ghost Train, going to Pumpkin. And both of them having to go a little bit out of their way for that third piece.
It started off so promising, and then it just declined.
But Viblosh definitely making up some time here.
Yeah, this is perfect.
A good 10 seconds.
That's a
right
10
there.
seconds, yeah.
If Nineball misses weight hop, this could be in favor of Viblosh.
But on the same vein, if Viblosh misses the weight hop, this could secure a better lead for Nineball. So ultimately, this cycle in this stage can ultimately determine who walks out with the lead. Or actually, it will ultimately decide who walks out with the lead. Because if all Viblosh needs is a better cycle than Nineball.
Yeah, it looks like he's about 13-ish seconds behind right now, which isn't that much. He does have a little bit of trouble there, but it's not the biggest deal because there's a lot of time that you can lose in this first beginning section before it actually starts to matter. He does take a little bit more damage, but he should still be fine here. Because you can lose about 5 seconds there before it starts to be an issue.
Alright, so they both made the weight hop.
Yeah, he's looking alright. So that time loss at the beginning didn't actually matter at all. Ooh, that was a hefty mistake on Viblosh. It might cause him to miss the zero cycle here, which would be very bad.
Nineball getting hung up on the ancient shrine shortly there. And Nineball gonna make it.
So Nineball gets zero cycle. Viblosh might be cutting it close here.
Yeah, regardless of whether or not Viblosh pulls the zero cycle though, Nineball.
That's
oh
not
no!
looking good for zero
Almost
cycle.
made a walk of shame. That was.
Oh,
that is,
oh my god! Just take it. Just take the
Viblosh
L.
is
Take the half
attempting
cycle.
that walk of shame.
Why did he stop? Oh, did he hit the balloon? He must have done that. The balloon? Oh no, he didn't.
So Viblosh is having a really bad time. I want to say that was what, second cycle?
Nah, that was a first cycle right
Oh,
there.
that was a first cycle? Okay. Oh yeah, because
So he's gonna be losing a lot of time on Nineball here. It's just furthering the gap between these two.
And we're moving into Aquatic Mine, so more RNG.
That was a little tough.
I didn't expect the inside of the mines to be like this. This is gonna be tougher than I thought.
Did not find a free piece in the cart. Got oven
Or in the
first
beater.
piece. No free pieces during the cutscene, so Blue Flame has to go all the way back up.
Yeah, that's a very unfortunate piece.
It's closer.
Oh, missing the pulley again.
Viblosh starts out with a yellow piece here, which is very good. He honestly did not need to get that hint there because there's only 2 places it can be in that situation, and they're both up top. Viblosh looks like he's getting very good RNG right now, and he's going to be saving a large amount of time on Nineball if he can.
But he's gonna have to go to. He's gonna have to go into Ghost Room for the 3rd piece.
Yeah, this is perfect.
But yeah, made up some time here. That's not bad at all.
4th place.
Oh, did not dig in the right spot. This was. There we go.
There are going to be 2 pieces there, and one's in the middle, and one is in the corner.
Yeah, but that one was the corner piece. It was 4th person.
The president must be over there. Let's go.
Back onto Route 101. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Is that
So the stage is perfect in every way. I would like to point out that it's designed without any kind of support beams underneath it over an abyss of water. So
we
I'm
don't talk
sure
about
this
that.
passes all sorts of inspections.
Be prepared to listen to this screeching for the next 2 minutes.
And the occasional power boost.
No, that's the best part.
I'm getting closer.
I doubt much is going to happen on Route 101. Viblosh did actually just take a lot of time lost as I said that. And then he used a boost there, which is questionable.
Yeah, normally you want to hold off on that boost until after that uphill ramp there.
I did say not much is going to happen, but it looks like Viblosh will be losing a bit more time here. Nineball finishing up with a solid time.
He found the president.
He did.
And now the best stretch of the game, all the desert levels.
These couple of next couple of stages could make it or break it for Nineball here. We might see
I
another
believe,
attempt at
yeah, I
GC.
believe Nineball uses Axle Jump as his backup instead of going for GC skip. So missing this could help Viblosh. Oh, but he hits it.
Looks like he's going to get it. Now we'll have to see if Viblosh will do the same thing.
Well, we know Viblosh is at least going to attempt it. Oh, wow, Viblosh, a little bit scary
Oh,
there.
Now I wouldn't say it's a good idea to attempt it because the cycle
No,
will be
because
off
the
and
cycle's off now.
you'll probably die.
He's going to go for it anyway.
Going for it anyway.
Alright.
Oh, he's probably just going for the normal GC skip. No, he's
No, he's going for it. This
That
could...
is-
Okay, yes, GC skip it looks like. Okay.
So the thing about that is, if you get onto that pole,
And he's taking a death.
the
That's
normal strategy is what he
painful.
did there. You try to stick yourself in between those two walls in a way that you won't get dragged down. But if you're on that pole and you pause hover off of it, you'll have enough height where you can just go straight through the middle because that wall doesn't have collision up there. So if he just did that, he would have been scot-free. Viblosh will be losing a large amount of time onto this stage.
Yeah, Viblosh is having a lot of trouble here. That was a
Man.
very sketchy hover jump.
What is he? He's going for GCSS. I don't know about that. The site.
Oh no, gets tracked.
He is not
This is
having a good time.
Very unfortunate hidden base for Viblosh. Nineball's already at the end of the stage. Viblosh having a lot of trouble getting through the beginning of it.
I did it!
Alright, looks like Viblosh going for GC skip.
This almost looks unsavable.
Yeah, this looks really bad for Viblosh.
That was a little tough.
And this is why the desert section of the game is so amazing. Because
It
nothing
is
ever goes wrong.
unpredictable.
So Nineball, all Nineball needs to do to win at this point is to just play it straight, not make too many devastating mistakes, and hopefully not get absolutely bad RNG.
In this match,
Oh, taking a death early on, but again, that's not a major time loss compared to what Viblosh just endured, so
he's restarting.
opting for the restart.
I know the reason that he's doing that is because when you die there, the camera goes into free cam, and it makes it a bit trickier. But it is definitely not slower than restarting there. So that was a bit of a questionable decision. It will definitely be tightening the gap between Viblosh, though. He just saved about 40-ish seconds there.
Alright, so bouncing over the door, first try. And we see Viblosh going into, or finishing up hidden base. So,
He's still very far behind.
still very far behind despite Nineball taking a death and then restarting on top of that death. But Nineball still has a very comfortable lead.
Man, that makes me anxious right there. Just do snake skip. That's so sketchy. Looks like he's gonna be finishing up Pyramid Cave with no problems.
Just made it.
Alright, we hit in Death Chamber, checking for a free piece.
That's a very good first piece from Nineball. He does accidentally grab that hint, which is not a big deal. Viblosh
Yeah, it's not going to
going for
matter
snake
because
skip over
the
here.
monitors are all going to be brought back when he uses the death strats.
If he goes for them?
He's not going for death strats?
Not using death strats. That's interesting.
That is very fascinating.
He went for the death strats
And he
on
doesn't know where
fly
the second
higher than a
piece
bird,
is.
but not cowering beetle.
He had to get that second hint. I don't know if Cowering Beetle is one of the vague pieces, but he had to grab a second hint to get it.
No, Bugs Baby, that's always there. and connect the dots, which is all the way in green room, but you can get it relatively quickly with the clip.
I think this is the first time we're seeing this particular clip in this run.
The right side is a bit trickier than the left side for most people.
Alright, gets it.
It's closer.
And now Viblosh loading in. Getting a reset piece.
Yeah, this is perfect.
EO1 is not a bad piece at all. It can be, and it usually is, right in the core, and that's a very good first piece. Perhaps he didn't know where it was.
He might not have known where it was, and
Long vertical white line is it's also a nice piece though.
and it's a blue piece.
Death strats from here.
Death strats.
He only has 2 lives though.
Does
He doesn't
not get
this
the
one,
immediate
and now he's on
radar.
his last life, so he has to take whatever this is, and it is not a red room piece. That is actually a pretty terrible piece.
That's a
from
pretty
Red Room.
bad piece from where he is. And it looks like we're going to see a clean boom boo here on Nineball.
And Viblosh got Omo
Oh,
Chow,
God.
which means he
Omo
can't check the
Chow.
him until Omo Chow's text goes away. Oh, that was a piece he probably should have seen.
He's probably kicking himself for it right now.
It's not there. You gotta go a bit farther than that.
Oh, he's tempting fate. He almost got shot by the gamma.
That was tough right there.
That was very
He did end up
close.
finishing Death Chamber. While it looks like Nineball is having a pretty good egg golem,
Yep, egg golem down. Didn't get caught on a ballerina. Went for the swag extra hit.
he is a considerable amount ahead of Viblosh right now. Viblosh getting a clean 1 cycle King Boom Boo. Nineball does not get the clip out first try.
So Viblosh coming in about 2 minutes behind Nineball.
At this late into the game, there isn't too much
That's
that
pretty
he can do to
devastating.
Make it up.
Yeah, there's not much anything that can be done about that.
Unless Nineball messes
unless
up
Nineball-
really bad. There's
Yeah,
not much.
Nineball would have to have a catastrophic issue.
And with 5 lives, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, Viblosh also has to worry about that last life. Taking a death at
Oh,
any
yeah.
point means forfeiting any checkpoint you may have had in the stage, which can set you even further back, depending on how far into that stage you are. And it's worth noting that it is not common, but it is actually very possible to die at the end of EE skip if you get reckless.
That was a kind of weird audio shift. Nineball getting a middle top layout, which is generally pretty good.
Yeah, it's much better to come down from the top for the third piece.
Than to come top from the down. That's the worst.
So 46, about 47 seconds. So we're going to be seeing CG, Eggman 2, FR, Shadow 2. And yeah, there's very little chance for Nineball to lose 2 minutes of a lead to those 4 splits.
I did it!
You did it.
I gotta do better next time.
Alright, Crazy Gadget. The last chance we're going to see some ridiculous CGS and CGSS shenanigans. Nineball most likely going to go for CGS as his MO has been. Highest rotating beacon, so middle top so far.
Middle top is definitely a lot better than middle bottom, because from the top, it's always so much faster to go anywhere else than it is from the bottom.
Oh wow, same third piece.
It's closer. I found him.
Alright, pretty good so far for Nineball. Shouldn't have any issues for the stage. And
At
we're
this
gonna
point,
see
it
Viblosh.
seems there is almost no chance for Viblosh to make up this gap.
No, I don't see it happening.
There's
Nineball's
too
got
much
a
time
very
lost
comfortable
on
lead.
enemies. Viblosh with 0 lives, it's very unlikely.
Yeah, Nineball has a very comfortable lead. Viblosh had, yeah, as you said, that hidden base really just kind of ruined it, because Viblosh was already behind going into hidden base, but the amount of time he lost was just, it was too devastating. It's almost impossible to come back from something like that. And that just goes to show that the desert section of the game can really just tilt your run.
The desert stages are unforgivable.
Oh, Nineball taking. That was fascinating. I'm pretty sure Eggman's health bar also went out, but Nineball took the death.
Yeah, that was a bit strange.
Alright, Viblosh going CGSS.
out of bounds first try. He has not missed the out of bounds once this entire race, and he's gone for it like 15 times.
He did miss the goal ring before.
He has done that a couple of times, but not this time. Even with that first try CGSS, it's not looking like it's going to be enough.
Huh. No problem.
Even with that death on Final Rush, it's not looking like it's going to be enough.
No, this is still a very comfortable lead.
Nineball could do whatever he wants here. He's probably going to win.
It looks like it's going to be about a 17-second checkpoint. No, 16-second. Okay. And yeah, as long as the execution of this is good, I mean, even a slow shadow is going to be a comfortable lead. Oh, Nineball taking a death there.
That's going to make it closer.
That actually makes it a lot closer because he didn't die early. He died far away into the strat. So
But unless he does that one more time.
Yeah, unless he takes another death or has a really bad shadow, it's still pretty easy for him to take the win.
That has actually lessened the gap a lot. He's only about, 10-ish seconds difference now.
That's about 15 seconds.
Fast to far. Do it. Fast to far.
If Viblosh goes for fast FR, I'd lose one.
Honestly, he probably would have if he knew how close it was now.
So this is actually going to come down to Shadow. If there's any issues with Shadow, that could definitely change the game here.
Viblosh made the turnaround just fine, and Nineball looks like he's definitely going to have enough height to make the skip.
Yeah. All Nineball needs is a solid Shadow, but having a bad Shadow will definitely change the game. Viblosh coming in a little bit low.
But he will definitely be alright, though. Final Rush skip is very easy, and there's a lot of room for error.
Alright, here we go into Shadow 2, the final. This is going to determine the whole race. And it looks like Nineball's got it set. Oh no!
Is he gonna do that again? Oh.
Alright, still good enough to get the
man.
easy shot here.
GG.
And
That
that's
was
it.
almost close.
That was nice. So that's the race. Viblosh is gonna wrap it up. So we thank everyone for watching. Y'all are awesome. We're about to throw it to Link to the Past randomizer. So thanks everyone for watching. Stick around if you want to see that. And it's been awesome. Y'all take it easy, and we're heading out.
Shoutouts to Mech.